So I wanted to address a growing concern regarding emails that I'm receiving, and you guys can comment down below if you've received an email like this, or even a letter in the mail, any type of correspondence from your utility company, perhaps, whether it's your electric company, your light bill, your gas company, maybe it's a letter from your landlord. I've gotten a number of different emails that are rather starting to be becoming alarming. And the reason is the frequency of these emails that I'm getting from viewers talking about these unexpected rate increases. And I'm seeing a pattern here. And one of the things that we're also seeing is that we're seeing shortages of rental properties. We saw shortages of food, we saw shortages, chip shortages, lumber shortages, and previously we saw housing inventory shortages, and they still exist, but they actually may be increasing as home builders are essentially piling on their incentives to ultimately entice increasingly hesitant home buyers into deals. And so what this is doing is it's forcing more would-be home buyers into becoming renters or extending their rental leases because the housing prices are continuously increasing month after month. Now, while we haven't seen an increase in housing prices lately, or at least not at the rate that we've seen during the initial stages of the pandemic, we are seeing that the cost of ownership for homes is drastically increasing, thanks to Fed Chair Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates. This is causing more and more home buyers to either be denied being approved, regardless of what the credit score is. Even if you've got a 740 credit score, 800 credit score, 850 credit score, if your income can't support it, mortgage companies are pulling back and they're declining and denying mortgage applicants. Also, many new reports have come out that there is also a decline in the number of mortgage applications. So even if the banks are willing to provide loans and extend credit to would-be home buyers, many home buyers are like, hey, you know what, enough is enough. These interest rates are ridiculous. I'm not buying. I'm just pissed off, right? And so that's happening. And so what happens there is, if you're a potential home buyer and you already own a home, but I don't know, maybe you wanted to downgrade to a different home, or maybe you want to upgrade to a nicer home, larger home. Maybe your family situation changed, whatever the case is. Maybe you want more land so that you can prepare and grow crops and farm. Those are great types of real estate to prepare with. Maybe you need more acreage. I don't know, whatever the case is, home buyers are backing out. Almost 1 in 4 home builders, they're now reporting reducing their prices. And this is compared to 19% of home builders, say, a year ago. So basically, if we're talking about 1 in 4 home builders, that means that 25% of home builders are now indicating that they've reduced their price from only 19% of home builders back in August. So we're seeing some weakness in the housing market. But what this is doing is that this is decreasing the amount of confidence that home builders have. And so this will create a new problem. So more inventory, meaning more houses, new houses being built, would have added to the inventory of houses, further lowering the prices going forward. However, as builder sentiment and builder confidence continues to decline, this will not help the price of homes. So essentially, new homes will not continue to be built at the rate that they were if home builders are, getting scared. And a home builder doesn't want to build a house that he can't sell, he or she. And a home builder doesn't want to have to build a house knowing that they're going to have to, slash prices by 20, 30, 50, $100,000 a house. That may eat entirely into their profit margin. You can't run a successful business that way. So rather than lose money on the houses, home builders were basically just, back out. Now, the flip side to this is that more and more renters are receiving letters from their landlords indicating that their rent rates are going to be going up. Now, I've gotten emails from a number of different people, and some renters are saying that, hey, I just got a landlord a letter from my landlord saying that my rent rate is going to go up by 50 bucks. Not too bad. That's what, an extra $600 a year. Not the worst that I've heard. However, I have seen emails from people saying that their landlord sent them a letter saying that their rent payment is going to be going up by $550. Now, I'm not trying to pass judgment. I don't know what rental property expenses are for individual landlords. There's no way for me to know. Obviously, they will vary quite a bit. However, there comes a point where I feel like there's a little bit of there's a fine line there between legitimate rent price increases and just being completely just taking advantage of people. And I'm hopeful that we're not headed down this road because this could be dangerous for a lot of people. And these are families that we're talking about. Now, as a result, home builders' confidence, it worsened for the 9th straight month in a row, with sentiment from September falling from 46 to 49. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, a number that is below 50 is considered negative. So this is really not good. And this particular drop in confidence, it pretty much underscores how this combination of elevated mortgage interest rates, building material supply chain disruptions, I mean, probably just endless supply chain disruptions, not just building material supplies, and high home prices, they have ultimately just completely taken a toll on home buyer affordability, and it's blown debt to income ratios just completely out the water. So, it's like, okay, do you buy a house in this very expensive housing market, or do you continue to rent? And when you look at the numbers, rent can almost become as expensive as buying the house. So, we're not quite at a housing market crash yet, but going forward, I think the cost of ownership versus renting is going to get very, very close, and it really could tip it really could tip either way. I'll say that it could really go either way. And especially, and this doesn't even take into account, what if the Fed were to pivot from their plans? Fed has been aggressively raising interest rates. It's not impossible for them to, turn the other cheek and say, hey, we're doing more harm than good. Let's pivot. Let's turn around. Let's stop raising interest rates. Let's reduce interest rates. Obviously, this is not what the Fed's going to do anytime soon, but this could happen in the future. Now, mortgage rates, they've been on the rise ever since the beginning of the year. As Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve has basically been affirming their commitment to tame inflation. And in August, inflation remained very high. I think it was like 8.3%, which was reported for the CPI for August. So inflation remains very high, but the Fed is also expected to raise its benchmark interest rates this week. So are we going to get another 75 basis point rate hike? Are we going to see a 100 basis point rate hike? Whatever the case is, I'm pretty sure it's going to be painful, and I'm really hoping that people are preparing, families are preparing, my subscribers, my viewers are preparing. We see what's coming down the pipeline. And also, the average rate of the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, it hit 6.02% last week. And this is up from 5.89%, which from a week earlier, and it more than doubled from what it was a year ago. Keep in mind, these interest rates that I'm mentioning, these are for prime credit borrowers. I'm talking borrowers with 800 credit scores and higher, right? So what if you don't have an 800 plus credit score? What if your credit score is 850? Excuse me. What if your credit score is like 680 and you are looking to buy a house? You're probably looking at a mortgage rate today, probably 7%, 7.5%, maybe even 8%. This would be borderline, probably in the category of a subprime mortgage. And we all know what happened back in 2008 with some subprime mortgages, interest-only loans, stated income loans. It didn't end very well. I know most of you guys probably remember the Great Recession. That was very painful and took a very long time for us to get out of it. The monthly payment for a median price home is at least 66% higher than it was last year. And this is coming from data from Realtor.com. So each and every single day, each and every single month, quarter after quarter, housing expenses are going higher. Thankfully, we did see a little bit of a reprieve with the gas prices heading down. However, if you saw my recent video, definitely check it out, you guys. Gas prices are expected to go back up, believe it or not. So, you know, there's a lot going on right now. I'm really hopeful that the community is taking heed to the information that is being shared, but it's getting rough out here. So anyway, I just want to share some information with you guys. Drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if you received a letter from your landlord, if you're seeing your utility bills going higher, and also if you're looking to buy or sell a home right now. Comment down below. Let me know what you're seeing in the housing market right now. I'd love to hear about you guys' experiences. But anyway, guys, drop a like for the video if you made it this far. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Be safe.